Hi everyone!
Hi everyone!
Welcome to this video. You have me and Neil
Hi.
in a never before shot video. We are doing some quick questions with Neil and Daisy today.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. Last week I actually sent out a little, or I didn't send anything out. I did a story on Instagram saying that Neil and I were preparing for a video of just some questions that you guys want to ask us, and many of you submitted wonderful questions. So I went through that video, I went through the questions and selected some of them. There was a lot of overlap, so I kind of pared down a little bit. And so today's video is going to be 18 questions.
So we're gonna do very fast.
We're doing kind of like a lightning rapid fire questions, not like rapid fire, but short answers to a bunch of questions that you guys submitted.
Are you surprised by the questions? Did you expect these questions?
I was surprised by some of them. I think there were some really good questions. I liked a lot of these questions. Yeah, I mean, I picked these questions. I might be a little biased, but I did really appreciate these questions. And I have the names of the Instagram handles of the people who asked us. So if you're watching, really, truly thank you for submitting. And if you guys are a fan of this kind of video, let us know in the comments. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna keep it short and sweet today. I have a printout of the questions. The first question is actually, how did Neil and Daisy meet? And there's no particular Instagram person who is responsible for this question because this was asked like 20 times. So many people wanted to know how we met.
I was actually expecting more stationery questions, but then there are questions about...
I think because the video is like me and you, because I said like Neil and I are preparing a video, so I think everybody wanted to know like the story of us. And so Neil and I met actually in college. We went to Wesleyan University.
Go West
in Connecticut, Middletown, Connecticut, and we met actually in Japanese class. Yeah. Neil is Taiwanese, and obviously my parents are from Taiwan, so I walked up to him, introduced myself, and we were really good friends for most of college, and then we started dating. So that was very cool. I went back to Taiwan with him in college and met his whole family. And funny side note, my parents drove up from New York to Connecticut the weekend they found out that we started dating. And so for like our third date, it was with my parents. My parents are very protective, if you can't tell by that story.
I was grilled with a lot of questions.
We had Indian food, Indian lunch buffet, and Neil was sweating because of the food and because of the questions.
You're like, what's your plan? International student. What's your plan?
They were really concerned because Neil's not from New York. So they're like, are you taking our daughter back to Taiwan with you? Like, what's going on?
And then Daisy's older. You're 1 year older.
Okay, put me on blast.
No, like you graduated 1 year.
Right.
So I did a program where I transferred. So that's like how we ended up in New York.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't have to move to Taiwan. So hopefully that answers your question. It's been a fairy tale since then. But yeah, Neil and I were really, really, really close friends before we started dating, actually. So it just felt right when we started dating. Okay, next question is from 8Nika8. They say, please share the story about how the name and logo for your store came about. That's a Neil question.
So it started with my parents who came up with the name. Our logo is 3 Chinese characters. It's a fun way of writing the character where you don't really put them together, but if you put them together, it looks they look very similar. They have the similar root right in the center. It's a rice field. In Chinese, you can read left to right to left, up to down. And so if you flip that 3 words next to each other upside down, it reads exactly the same. And also if you write it upside down, like 3 character, like Yoseka, upside down. If you flip that upside down, still like you read exactly the same. So it's like it is a kind of
It's the same no matter which way you read it.
Right.
So Neil's father chose that name, which became the logo. So our logo is really the 3 Chinese characters,
right.
Which are it's the same name in Chinese.
Yeah. So that's where that's from.
Yeah.
And the pronunciation is Yoseka.
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 Yeah.
That's how you pronounce the 3
Right.
characters.
And people do ask sometimes like Yoseka, how'd you get Yoseka from Yoseka?
Yeah. And my dad told me he actually just asked around the foreigners.
Oh.
The store in Taiwan is right next to a university.
Oh.
So there's a lot of foreign exchange students.
Yeah.
So pronouncing Yoseka in English, it's a little awkward. You know, it's not as like fluid. So they kind of like just test around with the international student, ask what they think, and then it's kind of just simplified down to Yoseka. So they had that name since when they started the store, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Next question is actually I got this question before and I just included it here because I love this question. If you could only pick one pen and ink combo, what would it be and why? You want me to answer first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. If I could only pick one pen and ink combo, I would pick my Sailor Dragon Palace in medium fine nib, and my ink would be Lennon Toolbar Sun Moon Lake Ruby Black Tea, which is one of the only bottles of ink that I own. I love the color. So that would be my go-to. If I could only pick one, which is really hard to do. What about you?
I think I will pick a Pilot A23.
Ooh, okay.
And would actually just like a Sailor Blue Black. It's good enough for me.
Wow.
It's actually pretty solid.
I do like that blue black a lot. It's a really great blue black.
Yeah.
Okay. What a classic combo. It's great. Okay. Next, at Pencil Mejen asks, what's your favorite hidden gem of the stationery world? I really like this question, but it's also hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have one?
Hidden gem, like stationery item?
Yeah, or stationery items, stationery shop, stationery, I don't know, anything.
I think the coolest things I find is actually not exactly in the stationery world. Like I find like things I appreciate a lot, like related to stationery from like antique shops. Actually, like I find that really cool, and they always intrigue me. Yeah. There's this thing I found recently that's like a pigment, but it is stored in some kind of vial.
Oh.
Wait,
where'd you find it?
In LIC.
Oh.
It's stored
Showed me.
in like blue, yellow, pink, and it's stored in vial. And I think the way you use it, and that's what I always have to like look up how to use it.
Yeah.
Is to I think probably mix it with water to get the color out of it. So it's like I find those like stationery item like very interesting, and sometimes I can put two and two together. Yeah. One of the coolest things in store is the letterpress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is the coolest thing.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So I love Craigslist. I don't know if this is related to this question anymore, but this is related to stationery. I go on Craigslist a lot and I look for things.
Yeah.
And one time I found this this big block of wood and it's carved with characters, and it's like from like 100 years ago, I'm guessing, because it's been passed down. And then it's just one page of the book where they used that long time ago to like ink it out and then brush inks and then press to create a page of the book, which I thought was very cool. I think I'm very excited about unique things.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You are. Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, next question is from @Cosmo_Wild1. They say, how do you decide on what items to pick for the store?
Is my term again?
I guess.
So
Neil does a lot of so oftentimes we'll look at things together, but he's the buyer. Right? Like people have that title, right?
Buyer.
Yeah, he's the buyer.
Yeah. But actually, I a lot of time I ask what our team thinks.
Yeah.
A basic rule is the first and most important thing is whether or not the brand tells a story, the item tells a story. So that's kind of where it's how one thing is very different in our eyes.
Yeah.
Typically, and then that kind of boils down to, say, a brand that's been around for a long time, a very classic brand. So because they've been around for a long time, they actually, just by existing, they tell a story.
So it's if the brand has a story behind it or a history of something.
Right, history itself is like that's proven through time. It's a classic.
More with the antiques. Now you're really getting an insight into Yoseka here. It's all about Neil's obsession with antiques.
And then that's something that we really like. I really want to get. Right, classic brand that's been around for stationery. So definitely get that. And then there comes times when it's newer product, and sometimes newer products we can kind of divide to two categories. One is more like fashion trendy. The other type is more like a interesting, unique, that it tells a story. Sometimes when an item just like seasonally come out, and then some brands they don't necessarily want to make them last for a long time. I may decide not to get it because it just it's not that interesting. So I'd rather spend time on a product that tells a story, even though sometimes it's like not the most trendy product. I think one example recently is this the stamp ruler. So
it's not
like
a ruler.
90 degree.
You kept calling it a ruler, so I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, why do you need a measure stamp? But it just helps you straighten your stamp alignment on your page.
It does have ruler on both sides.
Yeah.
So this 90 degree, you can put it on the corner of your page on the notebook.
Yeah.
You stamp, and then next page you flip to the same place. You do that, and then stamp. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even though, some things like that might not do so well in our store.
Actually, a lot of people got that.
Yeah, a lot of people got that. Yeah,
it's a super hit.
Maybe
that's the hidden gem of the stationery world is the stamp scale. Okay, cool. At Quiet Lovely Things asks, what is the most unusual question you've received in store?
Unusual question.
Yeah. Do you have one? I'll let you think. I know mine.
Okay, what's yours?
Okay. One time somebody came into the store and said that they were folding like 100 paper airplanes, and they asked for the best paper to fold those airplanes. So we folded those airplanes together, and she picked out like one of those new Soho sketchbooks, I think, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow. It's thicker.
It's thick. Yeah, because like I think that's the one that like probably flew the farthest because it's so stiff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah. Anyway, that was probably the most interesting question.
We do get asked a lot about whether or not we sell our furnitures and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So that's cool.
Back to those antiques.
Like, how much is this? It's just our display.
Right. It's not for sale. Okay, next question. At Bakery Mafia asks, what is the most rewarding part of running Yoseka? The people. For me, it's the people. Yeah, the people I get to meet. I always talk about this. Like, it's very hard to make friends when you're an adult, but like the store gives you such an amazing door to like meeting really interesting people all the time, whether it's customers or adding new team members. And there are people who are very unlike people who I went to a high school that's very like math sciencey. So I feel like a lot of my friends like that I grew up with are not creatives. They're like, you know, working in startups or like for financial companies. And then starting Yoseka, I get to meet all these amazing creative artists who get to like draw something and create something out of thin air. So that's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Is that your answer too?
I think definitely the people as well. And then I love our team. You know, our team has been very creative, and then I'm very happy that Yoseka is a place where people can be so unique and really show that, and then through like different aspects, like at a storefront or on social media, or even down to creating your own product. I think, you know, that's what I love about Yoseka, because people can decide what they want to do exactly and actually make an impact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Next is kind of a similar question from @Pochi Fung. What has been the most challenging moment owning Yoseka? And I'm going to remind you to keep these answers short and sweet, Neil, because we could go on about some of the challenging moments we've had.
Yeah, there are a lot of challenging moments.
There are a lot. Yeah. My answer is COVID. That was really one of the hardest times because we were being so careful, and I just remember like a period of like 6 months where it seems like so many times like somebody on the team would have had like a possible exposure through their roommate or something, and then everybody would have to isolate and come in at like separate times. So like figuring out how people can still work, you know, how we can keep Yoseka running and keep everyone safe at the same time was really hard. Yeah. But we did it! We're still here. Okay, what, do you have a different answer? Or?
There have been many moments for sure. And then as we grow our team, you know, responsibility kind of grow. There's things happening in one place that, you know, I've never experienced before. And, you know, every time an incident happened, it's like, oh, wow. You know, I think that's being challenging. The term recently I found is called the firefighting.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What I experience right now. Like,
right. Sometimes Neil feels like, we talk about this, sometimes Neil feels like he's like putting out fires everywhere, and that's like part of owning a small business, is that we're just doing many things everywhere, and like everyone's really good at their jobs now, but like when there's a crisis that's happening, it still comes to us most of the time. So we're just like, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. And speaking of firefighting,
oh, okay.
There was a bit of incident we can go on for a long time.
Yeah.
That was you know, our shop experienced some stealing.
Some shoplifting recently. Yeah, we had to call 911 for the first time.
But that's like first time experiencing someone's really like intentionally coming in, trying to get things.
Anyway, the police got involved. Hopefully we're okay. Hopefully everyone's okay. So definitely lots of challenging moments, but all very worth it, I would say, still. Okay, so next question is from @otherwise known as Danny. If I visit Yoseka, what are other nearby must-sees if newly visiting New York? Shops, food, etc. Transmitter Park for the view. Polly G's Pizza, Slice Shop. What is that dashi place called? That's cool. You gotta go there. Like something Norman. There's a dashi store.
I know it's 50 Norman.
50 Norman. Okay. Ovenly cookies. That's a must-have on the Yoseka list. And what else? Am I missing anything?
Actually, right by the Transmitter Park, there's like, you know, it used to be just one bar and one bakery. Now it's like 5, 6.
Okay, but I'll pick my favorite restaurant. We have to pick one.
Oh, sorry.
Naked Dog. Naked Dog is my favorite restaurant.
Naked Dog.
So it's good. Always good. It's so good. I love the vibe in there too. Okay. Next question, @Jenny-san Office, which brand or item were your best seller when the store first opened?
Best seller?
I love this question.
Okay.
We used to have this pen. Okay, Yoseka used to be really different. We used to have a pen called the Gadget Pen.
Oh, That was fun.
Oh my god,
That was
those
a
were
fun
the
time.
days. We had a pen, it was like a gel pen that actually wrote surprisingly well, but it also like had a stylus on one tip and it would also like hold your pen up, and we called it the gadget pen, and we used to do pop-ups back then, and every time we showed it to somebody, like they would just freak out.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see somebody's like reaction to the gadget pen.
There is a pen that you can hold your phone.
Hold your phone, yeah.
Hold your phone. Yeah.
That was our bestseller.
Yeah. Yeah, when we first opened.
Yeah. Okay. And then at Ube Bube. Ah, that's such a funny name. I love that. At Ube Bube, bucket list Yoseka goals.
For next year?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. In general, bucket list is like something that your wildest dream.
Oh, the wildest dream.
Yeah.
What is our wildest dream?
I would love to make a planner.
Oh.
I would love to do
Cool.
that. Yeah, I would love to get our team together and like think of like a great planner that we all love, you know? Something that I would love to do. There's a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to do.
Yeah.
But you know, as
We
grow
dream
up,
about having an ink swatch shop, like an ink shop,
Yeah.
where people can just come in and swatch inks, and it's just all inks along the walls.
Right.
That's a dream of ours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Okay, Neil has too many goals. Okay. At X for Yari, what's your favorite product that you carried this year? Oh, I saw this
That's a good
question.
question.
That's a really good question. I actually couldn't think of an answer though. Do you have an answer?
Favorite like new one?
Yeah, like that we added, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
the one that we
Yeah.
added. I need to think about it for a second.
I know, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about it too.
I think maybe Hokoro for me this
Oh,
year.
that's such a good one. You're right. Oh,
Did-
sad.
I think Hokoro is this year is it's
Oh, I'm jealous. Okay, can I copy Neil's answer? That's
wait,
also I
think
think.
about something else.
Oh man, it's really
Yeah.
hard.
If I need to pick top 10 this year, I think Hokoro is like on the top 5 this year.
You're right.
Yeah, it's like sort of not revolutionary, but in a way that changes how we use the dip pen. Yeah, and then just as Sailor continuing to like add, slightly change, improve, and then so it's becoming like more of a sender. Yeah, because of Sailor, not only just because of the product, but also Sailor is behind it as well.
Yeah.
So that's been great to see.
Yeah. I think that something that swept Team Yoseka like nothing else this year,
Yeah.
Traveler's Notebook sticker release refill.
Wow.
Okay, that product, that item has been like fully incorporated into everybody's stationery routine. I feel like everyone has gotten one, and it just really changes the way you organize stickers and can carry them around with you.
Right.
I know it's not a brand new concept to have sticker release paper, but in a notebook friendly size is very revolutionary, I think.
Cool,
Yeah, notebook friendly size.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay, next question is at That's Winnie asked, what's one item you cannot live without? Stationery or non-stationary?
Yeah, stationery.
We should pick one of each.
Oh.
Let's do it. Okay, stationery item that I cannot live without.
Yeah.
I cannot live without our washi tape cutters from Kokuyo. Those are the best. Those are the best. We use those so often. We have so many of them.
Yeah.
Stationery. Non-stationery? Non-stationery. What's one item that I cannot live without that's non-stationary? Probably my chapstick. I'm one of those girls, you guys. I apply chapstick like 20 times a day. It's a problem. That's it. Yeah, what about you?
Stationary item, probably sticky note.
Ooh.
Because we just use so much.
We
and
do
I
use a lot of sticky notes. Yes, we
sticky
do.
notes everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Your Delphonics bag.
Yeah, my Delphonics bag.
Yeah.
I love that bag. It's.
You got it. Neil got a Delphonics laptop bag this year in Japan.
Yeah.
He's been looking for a really slim laptop bag, and it's perfect because it only fits one laptop and then like pens basically. So that's all you carry around now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What is the next question? At Rosella.paper and many others actually on Instagram actually asked about our Yoseka TN insert restock.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like the timing. We just released this and then they sold out and then we released these questions.
Yeah.
So people were wondering. So yes, we are going to get more made. Of our Yoseka TN refill. Yeah. So they'll be back soon.
Yeah, back soon.
Yeah. Okay. At candidly.al asked, what is your earliest memory of loving stationery?
Ooh. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, I have quite a few memories, childhood memories of involving stationery. I think maybe the earliest is just going to Taiwan with my mom over summer breaks. Yeah. And like my cousin, my older cousin, who would always like was my role model or like a real mentor to me, she would take me to those arcades where you like play games, and then we'd get those raffle tickets, and then you can exchange the raffle tickets for rewards. And I remember choosing like a really, really fancy and cute mechanical pencil eraser and pencil box set that I was able to like bring back home to start school with in the fall. So I think that's like maybe one of my earliest stationery memories of loving stationery. What about you?
I grew up in Taiwan.
In a stationery store.
In a stationery store. I think maybe in middle school. And more for a slightly different reason. Because everyone, kind of knows which pen they like, in Taiwan. Because everyone used like, the gel pens, everyone knows the brand basically in Taiwan. But in school, because, you stay at school for like 12 hours or something like that.
Yeah, that's a really long day. Yeah. Longer than we work.
One thing that we do for fun is we twirl the pens. And I kind of remember that because you have to spend so much time practicing and do a lot of tricks.
Well, you have 12 hours a day to practice.
Yeah. I do know a lot of tricks. And then you kind of start appreciating...
My husband, ladies and gentlemen.
You start to appreciate stationery in a completely different way.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah, you gotta find...
The best pen for twirling.
For the best pen for twirling, right? It has to be like well balanced and long enough. But at the same time, if it does drop, you don't want it to break. So you actually don't want to break something that's like super expensive. Right. And then you want to make sure if someone tried to twirl with the cap, at the back of the pen, that person is wild.
Oh, really?
You might just break the pen if you drop it.
Oh, because it's capless.
Yeah,
I see. I see.
And also you have to think about whether or not you want that particular pen in your pencil case, because sometimes it doesn't serve a purpose. One of my favorites is like a crayon.
Right, I remember. We actually carried this crayon at Yoseka simply because of this attachment Neil had to it, I feel like.
It's like a very long crayon and you twist the back.
Yeah, you twist it out.
Kind of like a lipstick.
Right.
So it's very long and you can use it as a highlighter. Yeah, so it's like super functional.
Yeah.
And it's super fun.
I wonder if people would like those in our store now. Might be kind of fun because it's really actually like retro looking too. It's cute. It's like cute. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. We are getting down to the bottom of the list now. We have a few more questions. At Fabricio M asks, gold nibs worth the money? Question mark. I like that question.
Good question.
Custom 823. Custom 823. Gold nib worth the money.
I think that's like you're just like immediately
custom 823.
you can feel it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I would actually the one thing I explained.
Wait, vanishing point. Oh. Sorry.
Okay.
I really love vanishing point too.
Yeah, those are good pens. But one thing I explained in like with customer in store is that gold nib, because the process, it just takes a lot more QA, quality assurance to make sure it's actually working good. So if you have like a pen that's like steel nib for like $150 or $300, right? That pen might not have the same quality check as a gold nib that's like $200. Because the steel nib, typically pen maker makes a pen and then the nib itself is like a separate separate component. Right. Joined together.
Right.
But when company makes gold nib, company especially like Pilot, they make things from like back to back. So they're really focusing on.
You mean like end to end?
End to end.
Okay.
Sorry. They're really focusing on the quality. Right?
Yeah, that's a great point. Actually, I never thought about it that way, but I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, so like.
And they make everything.
Yeah, so if you get a steel nib, like you might have like 1 pen out of 5 pen that's like you love it.
Right.
But then a gold nib, you might just have like 1 and you love it. And that's kind of like, that's one thing to think about.
Wow, you've inspired me today. Okay, thank you. At Penopticon, Jade, actually our friend Jade asks, does Jacob have a favorite fountain? Oh no, does Jacob have a favorite pen yet?
Oh.
Yeah. Jacob mostly is still using crayons, but he loves opening my sailors. And he's recently learned that some caps are screw caps.
Yeah.
And he will unscrew the cap and he'll just be like rocking around with the pen with the nib out, and I'll be like, okay, can you put the cap back on the pen now and twist it on very carefully because I don't want him to like jam it in there in the wrong angle. And I recently had to like hide away all my sailors somewhere high up where he can't reach. And then he asked like, where did the fountain pens go?
Yeah, he says fountain pen.
He says fountain pen. He knows that it's a fountain pen, which is really funny. So he doesn't have a favorite pen yet, but I'm sure he will. We don't really let him around the pens too often.
Right. He kind of draws with crayons and stuff.
Yeah, he draws with crayons mostly. Okay. Last question, at Pink Paper Peony, is this both you and Neil's full-time job now? When did you decide to take the leap? I thought that was a good question, a good last question, so yes, this Yoseka is now me and Neil's full-time job. We literally spend all day together most of the time. That's what that means, all day. And I took the leap, I think sometime around 2021. It was like the year after COVID, and before this, I was a speech therapist. I was doing early intervention with little kids, so like the age range of like 0 to 3 years old, and working in people's homes. And then when COVID happened, I started doing remote speech therapy, but it got to be really hard, and Yoseka got to be pretty busy. And so I just decided to kind of phase out of that. It happened pretty naturally, and just kind of commit more time to Yoseka.
Because you will have to go to someone's home.
Yeah, I would physically have to go to someone's home.
During that time, which is like a lot of unknowns. Right.
It just felt unsafe at the time in 2020 to be doing that. Yeah, what about you?
I quit my full-time job right before
2021 also.
Is 2021?
Yeah, because that's the year Jacob was born.
Right, before Jacob was born. Yeah. like 3 months before that.
Yep. But essentially, I would say like you had like 2 full-time jobs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like Yoseka was really becoming full-time, and then he had his full-time job too.
Right.
So he was really working around the clock on Yoseka.
I was a software engineer. You know, I remember on the busiest time we would wake up packing at home.
Oh yeah, that was 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, packing at home, and then I logged on to talk with the team.
Right.
And then, you know, try to do things as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Try to figure out what to do as fast as possible. And then we also had to go to drop off the packages.
Right.
And then probably enter product, doing all those things, you know.
And there was like, this was like while we were working out of our home too.
Yeah.
So like there was a very specific time window when our home would have good lighting. You remember? So you would always be by the window at that time. You're like, I have to take this photo right now.
Yeah, photos for the product. And then even after we moved to Greenpoint, I think a lot of time I was still working on my laptop.
Yes.
While making sure.
Everyone had to like sometimes be quiet when Neil was working.
Yeah, sometimes I will be like on a call with the team, and you know, we had to be just like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil's on a call now. We have to pack these very quietly.
Yeah. At that time, it was very popular to do video call because of COVID.
Yes, that's right. The Zoom calls.
Yeah, the Zoom call. But I actually never show my background.
Right, because people be like, why are you in a stationery store, Neil?
Your background was very interesting.
Oh,
Is
God.
it a bar that you're sitting in?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So that was a fun time.
Yeah, but now we get to do this full time, and it's definitely, I couldn't choose a better thing to do.
I think it's a lot more fun.
It's a lot more fun.
A lot more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Or to run a shop.
Yes.
To work with the team.
Yes, and as much as I joke about spending all the time, every minute of every hour of every day with Neil, I actually really enjoy it. I love working with you, Neil.
Likewise.
Okay. All right, everybody. That's about it for this video. Thank you so much for everybody who sent in questions. And be sure to let us know in the comments if you have more questions for us, if you'd like to see part 2 of this. We can always do another one. This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
This was fun. Yeah.
Good questions. Thank you, guys.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.